Thank you all for attending. Please bear with me as well because this is the first time I've used this Fuse platform. Hopefully there won't be any problems at my end as well. We're going to be talking about the key regulatory documents to satisfy US FDA/CGMP requirements, and we will also talk about corollary documents used by the European Union to satisfy the Medical Device Directive requirements. So the focus here will be on devices, but a lot of the principles would apply across the board to other products as well. So, primarily this is a discussion regarding devices. We'll be covering these key points here regarding the types of documents under both of those two schemas. We will be talking about how one item leads to the deliverable of another, and vice versa, and some of the key elements that have to be met in either of the methods that may be used, as well as some future directions that appear to be arising on the horizon. Now, we're talking about the design history file versus the technical file/design dossier. Right now there are key differences between them. Although both of them describe the product, the design history file describes the process of developing the product, leading to the resulting product that has now been design transferred to production and is now reaching the marketplace. In contrast, the technical file/design dossier presents the product as it's being marketed with the current CE mark. So, whereas the design history file shows development history, the technical file shows a snapshot in time. And both of these prove the requirements under the respective regulations have indeed been met. In the design history file, you're proving that you've met 21 CFR 820.30 design control under the CGMPs for devices. And if you're dealing with the European Union for CE marking, you prove you met the requirements, the essential requirements of the Medical Device Directive and associated standards. Incidentally, as I go through these slides, some I will cover in detail, others I will not. I'd like to emphasize the fact, use the Q&A feature at the conclusion. If you think of something later on, address them to compliance trainings, and they will forward them to me in the next couple of days. If they're of general interest, the question and the answer will be forwarded to each and every one of you in attendance. If you think of something months later, contact me directly or through compliance training, and I will respond to that. I find these discussions very useful, not only to the individual who asked the question, but to me in terms of my teaching, in terms of the subject matter of interest, in terms of specifics that might be unique to their company that I've never had to deal with in my consulting business. And incidentally, I have been involved in product development, project leader on new products, as well as assisting companies in 510K submissions, IDE submissions, etc. So we're talking from practical experience here. These things that I present here are not the only way to do something, but they're ways that have worked over many years with both notified bodies for ISO requirements and Medical Device Directive issues, and for the US FDA and its satisfying CGMP requirements. Now, when we're talking about the design history file, again, this summarizes the point that the design history file shows a timeline from a start date to design transfer, and in some companies they keep it open beyond that. Others close it out and control the rest under change control. We'll mention that briefly a little later. Whereas the technical file design dossier currently shows the way the product is as it's being marketed. As you change the product, you have to update your technical file design dossier and have to have it re-audited by your notified body. And the notified bodies do differ slightly in what they like to see and focus on, so you have to take what I present here with a little bit of a grain of salt, recognizing that your notified body may have a slightly different format or different focus than other notified bodies. And again, my discussion here is based on my personal experience and that of my clients with specific notified bodies, which may not totally agree with what you may find when you deal with it.